you are going to get to see the full video, which you just saw a clip of now, at the end of me speaking. So you're here to know why is it that I'm a part-time model, or how is it that I'm a part-time model. But that clip that I was featured in, you'll get the full video of that at the end of my speaking now. But I want to tell you the story of how I actually got to do this, and it's a ton of fun, and it's put me across, introduced me to some really, really amazing people. So how did it all come to be that I am less behind the camera, and in this case in front of the camera, doing a bit of modeling? Kei-san, that's where it originates from, or I should say Drew. My full-time job is creative digital director at the startup Garden Lab in Kyoto here, working for my old friend, my dear friend, Drew. When I came to Kyoto, Drew introduced me to Kei-san. Kei-san is, of course, a Japanese gentleman and has a really, really fascinating history, which connects him to how he is involved with the projects that I'm involved with. So I should say as well that I'm not doing modeling in the sense of I'm in a fashion magazine. It's that I've modeled for promotional videos that are to show these new, exciting, high-level tourist experiences, ecologically minded, that you can have in Japan. Let's talk a little bit about Kei-san, though, because he's a really fascinating guy. So Kei-san, that I was introduced to from Drew, he has wild travel experience. So Kei-san, when he was younger, traveled from China on land all the way across over to Europe. That in itself would be a crazy travel experience to have. But in addition to that, he lived in South America for 6 years between Colombia and Mexico, and fluently speaks Spanish, which just blows my mind. So he's 3 languages deep. He's doing very, very well in that regard. And his job there was crazy in South America. He rented a fishing vessel, rented one. Basically, you have to pay to take this thing out. Didn't own it, but rented one, had a full staff of fishermen, and then they would go out fishing, and his job, I didn't know they even did it this way, was to be in a helicopter above the ocean communicating with his boat down below to tell them where the schools of fish were. When he told me that story, it blew my mind. That's so cool. It's such an adventure, which is something I very much look for in my own life. So that's his travel abroad, but here in Japan, Kei-san has traveled a great deal as well. And he is then well situated to craft these experiences of tourism, because he's not hearing about how great they are. He's gone there many, many times and knows why and what to highlight that would interest people that may not otherwise be known. So the place for this video, this little snapshot that you saw at the beginning, it's Obama, Japan. And this exists on the Sea of Japan, north of Kyoto, has a really fascinating history, where there was something in English called the Mackerel Road, where they transported the seafood of that region down to Kyoto when it was the capital. And it has many, many experiences of which I got to enjoy. Such an incredible job being a part-time model. You are to do your job well by appearing as though you're having a good time, which is hilarious because I don't need to appear to, I genuinely am. And you'll see as well Sophie, she's my promotional video wife. We both went and got to do this trip together. So Drew, my boss, my old friend, introduced me to Kei-san. Kei-san says, Dave, I'm making this tour, and a part of making those tours is making these promotional materials. And would you be a model for those promotional materials? And it'll involve you going to this place and experiencing all the cool things that you get to experience on this tourist experience. So I think to myself, of course, what an opportunity to travel Japan and make a few dollars while doing so. And the things that we did were incredible. We went for boat rides along the coast. We ate some of their famously delicious sushi. We went on e-bike trips to some of the most beautiful shrines and temples I've ever seen. Ancient, 1,000-year-old sugi. I can't remember even what kind of tree that is in English. That's okay. Incredible experiences, and something I am so grateful for, of course. And this isn't the only one, although I'm featuring it in this video to let you know about it, but I've also gone to Wakayama Prefecture. When that video is completed, when the tour is complete there, I'll also be able to release that to you here, and you can see me featured in another one of these. It's kind of funny to me that you could now, potentially, if you were interested, once travel restrictions are not so bad, you wanted to come to Japan, that you may, in the materials for the place that you're going to, see me featured in them. That tickles me. That cracks me up that this could be the case. So that's Kei-san. That's how I met Kei-san, and that's how it is that I have become a part-time model, like the song Flight of the Conchords has, here in Japan. I love it. I'm looking forward to doing more of it. I can't wait, honestly. What better way to explore Japan? Because Kei-san knows the coolest things to introduce you to when you go to these places. I highly recommend it, and there'll only be more. I think this will be very, very successful because the way that they're so crafted, they're so unique. This isn't follow somebody along on a tourist group. This is to have an experience tailored to couples, I would say specifically as well, and also one that's ecologically minded. He wants to do this with as little a carbon emission footprint as he can. He's a really forward-thinking guy. This is a really amazing project to be associated with, and as I've said now maybe a half a dozen times, I cannot wait to be associated with more. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. The video will roll now. I think you'll enjoy it. I certainly enjoyed being a part of its construction, and I'll be doing another one of these as soon as it's ready to go from Wakayama. I hope you enjoy it.